from Scorpion HQ, World Headquarters, Cloverdale, Indiana. Scorpion Uncut. For today's edition, Mr. Korie Wells.
Hey everybody.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. It's a Friday, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking time away from the phone calls that you're making and the customers that you're supporting. Korie, gosh, how many years you been here?
So it'll be 9 years this August. I was thinking about that earlier today. My youngest daughter was born in 2013, and I started working here in 2014. So it'll be 9 years.
9 years. In those 9 years, you've worn about as many hats as I have.
Yeah, I've pretty much done it all. I've kind of headed up some of the home improvement projects, deck coatings, started in some architectural window film. Originally was hired in to do some more developmental stuff for the housing market, trying to expand our services there. But since then I've done Bedliner stuff, I've done automotive window tint, epoxy, some of the ceramic coatings. Pretty much had my hands in just about everything that we do here. So
I always enjoyed, when I was on the sales side of things, the training aspect. Mm-hmm. And I suspect with your personality, you probably enjoyed that as well. Yeah.
When I first got hired in, about a year into my job here at Scorpion, I actually started doing the training here at Scorpion headquarters. When we hired somebody else that was kind of their forte, what their background was originally was training. I kind of took a step back there. At that point in time, I had so many customers that taking a full day off just to do training for a Bedliner spray was pretty difficult to do.
I always remember the unique applications, things other than Bedliners. Mm-hmm. And if I recall right, you were in one of the Dakotas and you did the front end of some RVs and some high abuse areas. Do you remember the details on that? Yeah.
So I flew out to Fargo, North Dakota, I believe is where it was. There was an RV dealership out there that had a lot of rock chips on the front of fifth wheels. Okay. So I flew out there, showed their guys how to actually tape everything off. They didn't want to spray the whole thing. They just wanted to get those high abuse areas. So we basically taped everything off. The front had the door for storage and everything. Sprayed that in a brown color, I believe, to kind of match some of the decal work that was already on the RV itself, the fifth wheel, and turned out really well. That company still buys from us a little bit here and there to this day. And then one of our bigger trailer people are actually up in Canada. They buy quite a bit from us as far as coating their trailers and even their chassis and the underneath sides of the trailers as well.
And a lot of that was off of rock chips and corrosion.
Yeah. I've never been to Canada, but from what I hear, there's a lot of gravel roads up there. So when you get into those gravel roads, I mean, especially some of the bigger tires, more aggressive tires, it's throwing a little bit more stuff than your typical SUV or even truck here in the States would on paved roads. So they wanted the protection, and Canada Trailer Manufacturing, they've started putting that on all of their trailers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any other industries that you kind of have a soft spot for?
Right now the Jeep industry seems to be like a really big deal right now. We, along with one of the other co-workers here, did a Jeep tub in a custom orange color. Yeah. And did the entire tub, and just hanging out and doing that. It's not difficult, a little bit time consuming, but I really like right now the Jeep market, and especially the off-road market, because there's so many different things that you can do. We don't just do truck bed liners. I've seen some really neat custom-made brush guards that people will fabricate their own brush guards, and then they'll put our coating on it, and they can really make it look unique with different colors. Our vinyl flattener powder to give it more of a matte finish, or our metal flake to kind of make it pop a little bit. And a lot of people have been doing decals and things like that. So it's pretty interesting to see what some of these people that do it on a daily basis can kind of come up with. And really, your imagination is the only thing.
Only limit. Yes, only limit. I use that one when I was in the sales division. Something I want to touch on, if you heard him say metal flake, and for those of you that don't know us very well, metal flake is something that really makes us unique. If you've seen our SEMA vehicles the last couple of years, 3 years maybe, I think they've all had a metal flake influence. Korie, you want to talk about metal flake at all?
Yeah, so the metal flake is basically a very fine flake that we put into just our XO2 material itself. No color. Typically what I will do is I'll mix up what we call a micro batch. It's 10 ounces of our A component and then 4 ounces of B, 4 ounces of C. You mix that all together without any color and your flake, you can actually spray it out of the same gun that you just sprayed the truck bed or the exterior of a Jeep with. What that does is it puts down a really thin, almost clear coat essentially, but it's metal flake that's infused with the Bedliner material. So you get protection and it sticks to the existing Bedliner material that you already have there. It's a really unique application. Probably one of the cooler ones we did was actually just something we came up with for my brother's truck that we sprayed here for training. We did a silver, red, and blue metal flake.
Yes, yes.
We pulled it out into the sun. Oh man, it really popped. It almost gave it that USA color type application. So yeah, there's so many things you can do with it, but that's really one of the easier things that doesn't cost a lot of money, but for customers, you know, a lot of times doing that added step, you can actually charge a little bit more for that because it is unique. It is something that not everybody else can do.
Yeah. I don't know of anyone else doing metal flake.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's jump products here. For the longest time, you and I were heavily, you know, a strong piece of the chemical sales division.
Right.
But the window film, which we've talked about many times, that's grown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Korie has been pulled into the window film direction as well. So he's learned a lot about that. Talk to us about the window film.
Yeah, so, you know, as Bill said, you know, I pretty much came in to do the home projects. Quickly realized that there was a need for someone else to kind of handle some of the volume in the Bedliner and chemical industry for, you know, kind of the automotive market and all of those associated with automotive markets, ambulance manufacturers, fire truck manufacturers. So there was enough work there for me that I kind of had to kind of jump in there. And then when I was approached about doing some of the window film sales, to me it was a no-brainer. I love our Bedliner product. It's probably one of my favorite things to do because, again, it is so customizable. But you're kind of limited as a customer, right? There's only so many things that you can spray with our Bedliner material, even if you did the full exterior. And I've seen it, a Camaro that was done in purple, okay? Yes. You could spray a Camaro in purple, but that Camaro has windows. A truck has windows. A Jeep has windows. So moving into the window film was kind of a no-brainer to me because it opened up so many more possibilities of selling opportunity, not only for my customers that I've already been dealing with, but it was a product I could also stand behind as well. Our window film is a great product. It's an easy add-on, and the profits in that are absolutely amazing. And I get people a lot of times that are interested in both, and they ask me, where do I start? And a lot of times, depending on their shop, I will kind of push them a little bit more towards the window tip. Lower startup costs typically, if you have somebody that actually knows what they're doing. And the return on investment is much quicker with that as well. So to me, like I said, the window film is definitely something that I can get behind because it's a great product, and I was able to market to even more people.
Okay. Tell me about your favorite aspect of the job.
I would say my favorite aspect of the job is when people call in, they're always asking, hey, I've got a weird request for you, can you do this? I would say 9 times out of 10, the answer is not only yes, but it's also been done before.
Yeah.
People that are looking at doing some really unique projects, whether it's boats, whether it's food trucks. Again, I mentioned the ambulance manufacturers. There's a lot of people that are like, hey, will this stick to concrete? Will this stick to wood? So being able to answer those questions for the people, again, year 1 or 2, a little bit more difficult for me to kind of field those questions because I was still learning. But at this point, for the most part, I think I can answer just about any question they have about the coating.
If there's an application out there, you can handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I miss that aspect as well when I was in sales, and it was the variety of uses for the coating itself. Yep. And I've talked about it before in other videos. Military trailers, fire trucks, We have stuff in fire trucks over in Ohio. Every truck they build, 6, 7, 8 gallons of product on it. And that's a testament to the product.
Right.
If it's good enough for the fire truck industry, because have you ever seen a dirty fire truck? They take pride in that. And if our product's good enough for them, good enough for pickup bed.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I mean, and people ask me all the time when they call in, especially if it's someone who's just found us on the website, how durable is this product? And my typical answer to those people are, we've been around since 1996. I don't think you can have a sustainable business with a product that's having failures all over the place.
Correct.
So it is a durable product as far as the Bedliner is concerned. The window film is of the highest quality, and again, it's easy for me to sell it because I do have enough confidence in the product and what our customers are getting that I can sell it to them much easier because I know the longevity of the product.
Okay. I want to jump to Bedliner types. Are all Bedliners the same? Are all Bedliners equal?
In a broad spectrum, all Bedliners are the same if you're looking for just a protection standpoint, right? And what I mean by that, no matter what Bedliner you put on a vehicle, whether it's in the Jeep tub or the back of a pickup truck, if you're looking for rust and corrosion protection, all of them do that. We're talking Line-X, Rhino, Scorpion, Raptor. I mean, there's several different ones out there, don't get me wrong. But if you're looking at rust protection and corrosion, I would say for the most part, all Bedliners are the same, okay? When you talk about durability, longevity, color stability, things that you can do different that other people can't do, that's really where we separate ourselves. And I use the example a lot, a high pressure spraying system, which we have, right? It's not my favorite thing to have unless you're a really, really high volume customer,
Sure.
right? But there are some advantages and disadvantages to that. When you talk about a high pressure pure poly system, it dries very hard and it dries fast. But the biggest issue that I have with that is durability, right? Most people think that the harder something is, the more durable it is. And that is the case in most situations. However, when you talk about a Bedliner that has things thrown in the back of it on a pretty regular basis, the harder it is, sometimes when it cracks or when it chips, it does that because it's so hard. There's no give to the product. Now, what I like about the XO2 is it's what we call an 88% shore hardness, okay? Most of your high pressure systems are a 90 or 92. Now 4%, 2% doesn't sound like that much, but the absorption of impact on a softer product is actually better for your vehicle. It can dissipate that impact throughout the entire liner itself, and the chances of it cracking and spider webbing are much, much less likely to happen because you do have that absorption of impact. So the XO2 system in that aspect, because it is a polyurea, so you do get your durability, it's blended with polyurethane.
All right, I got to interrupt you.
Yep.
You referenced XO2 a couple times.
Yep.
For our loyal fans, our loyal followers, you're familiar. But I hope some of you aren't too familiar with us, and you're not going to know what XO2 is.
That's true.
So $25 if you know the exact term.
Of XO2?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually don't know that.
I don't either, but I'll edit it in, and I got it.
I've seen it on some tech data sheet somewhere.
Like 27 syllables.
Yeah. Clayton was the one that came up with that name, I think. So.
Tell us about XO2. Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so the XO2, it is a polyurea polyurethane blended material. So again, you're basically getting the best of both worlds. You get the durability from a polyurea, you get the customization properties of a polyurethane. Polyurethanes are known to be flexible, which is why ours is softer than your Line-X or Rhino. But because it dries slower, you can do those custom color matches, you can do an aggregate through there, and you can do that metal flake top coat that we talked about earlier. So the unique aspect of being able to customize that product is really what I focus on with most of my customers. If I've got a dealership that's spraying, 10 truck beds a week, doing something in what we call a low pressure batch mix system, which is what the XO2 is, probably not going to be cost effective for them. It's going to take too long to dry. So with each different customer, we have a solution
Yeah,
for
but
them.
yeah, different conversation based on the volume.
Correct. And what they're wanting to do with it. You know, if it's somebody that's just wanting to do a little bit on a rocker panel, or if it's a pickup truck that they're not doing any hauling, or they're not a mover and they're not a construction guy, we do have another option for them. That's our shake and shoot product. So we really focus on three main bedliner components that we produce at Scorpion.
Okay. All right. Well, what led us into that was your favorite aspect of the job. So let me jump back to that one and ask about your least favorite part of the job.
I would say the least favorite part of the job is a customer that is not understanding as to why something happened, and explaining it to them in a way from a chemical standpoint makes complete sense to me, but is foreign to them.
Yeah.
Right. And what I mean by that, had a couple of conversations with a gentleman where he said, "Hey, I've got these two small bubbles that popped up in my bedliner." Right. Well, two small bubbles in the bedliner doesn't mean that the product is bad.
Correct.
There's something there. Well, no, if it didn't stick, there's something. So kind of dealing with those customers is a little bit of a challenge, but I try to take it in stride. Most people that call in, they just want the answer as to how to fix it so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And that's what I really try to do. So sometimes those conversations are a little bit difficult, just from a pure chemical non-understanding standpoint. But for the most part, I try to do my best, whether you're a $100 a month customer or $100,000 a year customer. Right. I try to treat everyone the same and give them the answers that they need. May not be necessarily the answers that they want, but I want them to leave and feel better about our conversation, knowing that moving forward, not only do they have somebody that they can contact and get the answers that they need to have, but they feel good about the conversation as well. So those phone calls sometimes are a little bit difficult.
Okay. Leads me to my next question. The single most interesting project that you've been a part of?
Single most interesting.
I'll give you a frame of reference. For me, probably my top three are all military applications. Mm-hmm. Different uses, different reasons, but all for the military. And I always find those to be fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Now, you and I both worked on this one. It was the breastplate.
Yes. Where
Aberdeen actually sent someone down,
yeah.
and we kind of had to prep and spray several breastplates that they went and did testing on. Did we ever find out if
it did well? It was a money thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one. The manufacturing aspects of the product too. So recently, I've had a company that came down and needed me to spray some very intricate parts. It was a little bit more difficult to do than what I wanted it to be. But we were able to get them taken care of. And essentially what it was the grills on the front of vehicles were placed in this machine. And then they were basically stamped down, were the pieces that were holding the grill, and then the pieces that stamped down, and it was basically to put like an emblem or something on it. It was something really, really small, but every single one of those parts of that machine had to have a coating on it. And they reached out to us, and we spent a couple of weeks with them getting them squared away, and that was interesting. So most of your car vehicles out there that have any kind of a grill and has an emblem in there, whether it's a Chevy emblem or a Ford or whatever the case may be, it may very well have been on that machine that we have our coating on. So I guess to me, to single one specific thing out, I don't know that I can necessarily do that. But that one was unique in the fact that I now know that, hey, any car that I see driving down the road may have something to do with our coating just because of that machine that the grill's put on. Yeah. Okay.
Anything else about the job you want to talk about before we jump into our next segment?
I'll give you a brief story just about Scorpion in general. So and you'll remember this. So when I started working here in 2014, my wife actually was in a really bad car accident in 2017. So I'd been with Scorpion for about 3 months, and her car was totaled. Lifeliner to IU Health downtown Indianapolis. Found out later that that's where most of the people that were involved in race car accidents from the Speedway, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that's where they're taken because it's a level 1 trauma center. So I spent the better part of 2.5 weeks at IU West with her. Scorpion paid my salary. I was using our other car that I was driving back and forth to work, which was actually her car at the time. Was able to use her car to kind of get things squared away with insurance and so on and so forth. And when I came back to work and needed a vehicle, Scorpion gave me a vehicle. It was a company vehicle that was already here, wasn't being used, and I was told, use it. You don't have a vehicle. We know times are tight with insurance and medical bills. So Scorpion really took care of me, and I was out for a grand total of about 30 days. She was moved from IU West to Terre Haute Regional Rehab Facility, and I literally missed 30 days, and not once was I bothered with when are you coming back or anything. Yeah. It was take all the time you need. So Scorpion definitely takes care of their people. I honestly believe that. And again, had it been any other place of employment, I think that they would have worked with me. Yeah. But there was never a question as to whatever I needed. They basically took care of me. So that aspect of the job and the camaraderie that we have around here on a daily basis. I mean, we're just a bunch of hillbillies, in my opinion, that come in to work and we know a little bit about this, a little bit about that. We cut up with each other. So I enjoy that aspect of this job. I know everyone with COVID has gone to, kind of working from home and being able to work from home a little bit easier. But I just find it, refreshing to be able to come into an office and be around people that are like-minded and have that work relationship and not feel dread about coming to work every Monday morning, which I know a lot of people out there do. So just the enjoyment of actually being here. And again, those phone calls where people call in and say, hey, just wanted to thank you for, pointing me in the right direction on this project and stuff. So it is rewarding working for Scorpion for sure. Yeah.
I agree with everything. I do remember the situation with his wife, and it was a scary situation to be looking at. When we're like brothers down here. We're close. We're friends. We do things outside of the office together, and I wasn't surprised to see how Korie was helped out. So, gonna jump on you now.
Okay.
You are Experiment. This is the first edition of Scorpion Uncut Rapid Fire. I'm going to throw in some questions, and I'm going to demand a quick couple-word response. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Looks like I got about 12 of them here.
So we should get through this in about 12 seconds?
Ideally, but I read slow. All right, here we go. Ready, go. Favorite food?
French fries.
Favorite car?
Lamborghini.
Favorite sport?
Football to watch, softball to play with my girls.
Favorite team? For a professional team sport?
Probably the Colts.
Who is the best fantasy football player you know?
Football player?
Fantasy football player.
I would say, as far as drafting teams, you've actually done pretty well. Favorite player?
It's him.
I would say Alvin Kamara has been kind of my go-to.
Okay. Is your wife a better barbecue pitmaster than you?
I'll tell you what, she smoked a good pork butt the other day, and it was pretty tasty, but I think I still got her as of right now.
I'm happy to be a taste tester. Do you ask for permission or beg for forgiveness?
I usually ask for permission. I pretty much know what I can and can't get away with, but asking for permission is a little bit easier.
Who are you more like? Ozark fans, Marty Bird or Omar Navarro?
I would say Marty. I'm a little bit more controlled and precise with the things that I do. I think about things a little bit more rather than just, flying off the handle.
Is breakfast for dinner okay?
Absolutely. I love biscuits and gravy and fried potatoes in the evening. Absolutely.
What is your first purchase after winning a $100 million lottery?
I would say probably paying off all my current bills.
Man.
I don't know that I would buy anything. I would probably pay off all my bills, put the rest of it in the bank, and just sit on it and draw interest.
What sport would your Olympic gold medal be in?
Chicken wing eating. If we can make that an Olympic sport, I would make that happen.
You're going to be a silver medalist because Josh Bias is going to beat you.
Yeah.
Who plays you in the Korie Wells autobiography on HBO?
Well, I would say before he passed away, it would have been Chris Farley.
I knew it.
Now that he's no longer an option, I guess maybe a Chris Pratt, maybe?
Yeah.
I lost 20 or 30 pounds. I could kind of pull a Chris Pratt off.
Yeah, you got it.
Ideally, Brad Pitt, but I mean, let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, last question here for Scorpion Rapid Fire. Your go-to karaoke song?
If there is a good female singing partner, it's always going to be the B-52's Love Shack.
Love Shack.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If there's no female lead available, you got to go with either Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places or John Michael Montgomery's Grunder County Option.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
For the here's a side story on the Love Shack song. The SEMA show takes place in Vegas every year, and 3-4 years ago, Terry talked us into going to the Heart Attack Cafe over on Old Vegas. Well, they had karaoke there. And the table next to us, we were a bunch of guys, and the table next to us had some women. And one of them wanted to sing. She agreed, Korie agreed that they go up and do Love Shack. Because it's a male and a female.
Yeah.
30 seconds in, the female just drops out. And this guy stayed on stage and finished the song.
No. I think I even tried doing the female portion of it. So, yeah.
There's video of that out there somewhere.
There has to be. Terry's probably got it.
Yes. All right. Korie, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. Love sitting down with you.
Anytime.
For this edition of Scorpion Uncut. And thank you for taking the time out and listening, watching. Remember, Scorpion protected coatings. Protect what's yours.